Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. We've got Cloud Connections and Verkada presenting a little three-part webinar series here, kicking things off in the new year of 2025. Wanted to touch on physical security and the cloud-based solutions that Verkada offers. Cloud Connections, a preferred partner and integrator of Verkada, really here to kind of boast about the amazing platform and comprehensive solutions that they offer today. So luckily enough, I am able to be joined here by Matt Leung, one of the senior engineers here and solutions partners with Verkada. I'm Doug Beck, a business development manager that's worn a few different hats in our organization over the years. And really, we're just excited to give everybody a little bit more background and information on Cloud Connections and Verkada, how we kind of work well together, how we are able to come up with comprehensive solutions for our very important clients as we look forward to examining your needs, what we can offer, and really where we can find that common ground for elevating a consumer, and commercial security experience. So, without too much further ado, we're going to keep this to about 45 minutes today. We've got time for a Q&A session here at the end of the hour, but really wanted to welcome Matt to the stage here. He's going to give us a little bit of a run through just on a high level overview of what Verkada offers today within their platform, some of the architecture and some of the pieces of the puzzle that are oh so important to so many of us. And then I'll go ahead and wrap things up here before we launch into the final Q&A session. So please feel free to dump any questions into the chat. We'll get to those here at the end. And Matt, thanks so much for joining us this morning. I'll hand it over to you.
Cool. Thanks, Doug. I'm really excited to talk a little bit about Verkada today, what we do, and yeah, we'll jump right into it. So really appreciate everyone joining, carving out some time this morning. And as a token of appreciation, we're sending out Verkada branded Yeti tumblers, and all you got to do is just complete a short post-webinar survey, give us your info, and we'll have this shipped and ready in the next 3 to 4 weeks. So who we are. So we're founded back in 2016. We started as a camera company, and ever since then, our employee base has more than doubled each year. We're spread across the globe. We have 16 different offices, and we support over 26,000 customers, of which 82 of them are part of the Fortune 500. And we broadened our portfolio from just cameras to now over 7 different product lines, really to create this building operating system of the physical world, right? All of our products seamlessly integrate together under one single pane of glass. So you're not having to go to different portals, different vendors to manage your security. And the vision outside of being the most easy to use solution on the market is being one of the most scalable platforms. And whether that's dealing with 10 or even 10,000 cameras, you got 10,000 doors across your facilities, maybe you have 100 different alarm sites. We have customers across different verticals who have done this at scale. And when we're looking to continue expanding our portfolio over the years, our vision is to protect people and assets in a privacy-sensitive manner. And this is kind of our core offering. And to give some color into the physical security landscape, I kind of wanted to kind of demonstrate this diagram here. Physical security traditionally isn't one of the industries that has fully embraced the cloud. When you're thinking about video or entry for doors, intercoms, most of that is always like kind of hosted on-prem, which is fine if you don't have a ton of users or you don't require remote access. When we're thinking about enterprises today and how they're trying to grow, this architecture has a few different problems, right? Physical security typically is owned by your operations teams, your facilities teams, or you might have a dedicated security team. And now as things are becoming more IP based, touching the network, physical security is going to be kind of in the hands and the responsibility of your IT personnel. So this diagram kind of shows you what the industry's been used to. You have an IP based camera connected to a switch, and on that same local network, you might have a network video recorder or an NVR. That box is basically responsible for storing footage, processing any of the analytics that your cameras are going to be handling. And this is the same for cameras, same for access control, alarms, a very similar architecture here. And when you're wanting to share this footage out or access it remotely, what you're going to have to do is either one of two things, right? You can set up some VPNs to make sure your clients outside of your network can access the local network. You can poke some holes in your firewall, but that's going to add some complexity and security issues. And when you're talking about reliability, since that NVR is responsible for storing footage, if any drives get corrupted, and you're looking to pull footage, handle investigations, and you find out that your NVR is down, now you're in a compliance issue. So really that's your single point of failure. So what we've done at Verkada is kind of transform this architecture into what we call a hybrid cloud solution. What this means is that your cameras are going to have local storage directly on them. Your access controllers are also going to have that local storage where it can remember your access users, your access levels, schedules, credentials, whatnot. All the analytics are going to be handled directly on board your cameras, access controls, your sensors. And this allows things to operate seamlessly. If internet goes down, your cameras are going to continue recording. If internet goes down, your doors are still going to continue to work. So we've basically put all the processing and the heavy lifting on the device itself. Where the cloud comes into play is to give you remote access and management into your entire physical security suite. Let's say, I have cameras based in San Mateo at our headquarters, and I'm in London, right? The cloud's going to broker the connection between my viewing device, whether it be my phone, my computer, my tablet, back to those devices in San Mateo. And this creates a very bandwidth-friendly solution, right? We've deployed our devices from schools all the way down to low bandwidth facilities like oil fields, right? We at steady state only consume a small portion of your network bandwidth, around 20 to 50 kilobits per second. That's just sending metadata up to the cloud, right? And then when you do access it, it's basically the amount of a YouTube video, right? You're viewing a camera stream, and this makes it very flexible and desirable for our IT administrators. If you're on the same network, you can even just make a local connection, so you won't even consume it at all. And what this does, this architecture allows us to deploy devices at scale. All you need is PoE to the cameras, the sensors, the intercoms, and you can plug and play across your facilities. You don't have to worry about the number of ports on an NVR. And this allows you to be very flexible in your deployment. And we can kind of talk in detail about how Cloud Connections will handle that at every stage of your project. So let's talk about our product offering. Again, we started as a camera company. Cameras are kind of the glue to each of your product lines here. Again, you have onboard storage, video processing. You have world-class analytics that can allow seasoned veterans from the security space to do very quick and seamless investigations, and also giving tools to the maybe not so technical folks who just need quick access to a camera and they can search in plain text to find the footage that they need. Access control is going to be the layer that actually prevents bad guys from getting in. You have your card readers, your doors, your access controllers, and we make it very easy to kind of give real-time analytics into door events, get alerted on any notifications such as like doors being propped open, forced open, maybe disgruntled employees badging in after they've been deactivated. And we make it easy to take over as well. You can just swap the panel, keep your readers, keep your wiring, and Cloud Connections can help with that deployment. When you're looking at environmental sensors, typically a lot of schools like deploying these as vape detectors. You might have one of these in a bathroom and a camera on the outside. And if an SRO or a principal needs to get notified anytime there's a vape event, they'll get a text directly to their phone. Jimmy's been detected by a camera on the outside, goes in, you see the vape event spike, and Jimmy walks back out. We've given the tools to a lot of districts to basically curb this vaping epidemic. And we've deployed this outside of schools as well in manufacturing. We put these in freezers. We put these in warehouses to monitor air quality, TVOCs, in parking garages to monitor carbon monoxide, you name it. We have a use case for your customers. For the alarms and intrusion side of things, we offer a full suite. We can do a wired or wireless solution where we have professional monitoring agents monitoring every single one of your products here. And this helps save costs, reduce false alarms, and give you peace of mind when you're not actively monitoring your facility during the day. We can have that 24/7 video monitoring across around the clock. We also have some visitor management solutions and package management solutions. So when you're talking about Verkada guests, most folks are going to have a very simple like pen and paper check-in, and this doesn't bode well if you're trying to track what types of visitors you're kind of getting throughout the day. With Verkada guests, you can do real-time security screenings. You can scan their ID to make sure they're not on any most wanted lists or any sex offender lists. And you can get real-time analytics into why people are in your facility. And this is great for compliance reasons as well. We have a package management solution as well that'll send employees real-time alerts for anytime their packages are delivered to reduce clutter in your mail rooms. And finally, we have an intercom, which is one of my personal favorites. It allows you to kind of think of an enterprise-grade Ring doorbell where people can dial in on the intercom from the outside. We have flexible call trees to make sure no one's stuck outside. If your team members are busy handling other items of interest, you can have other receivers respond and handle that call. It has the same powerful analytics as our cameras, and it can also function as a single door controller. So really providing 3 products into one package at your entryways. So that's kind of the suite that we offer today, and we're constantly growing. So as your needs evolve, Cloud Connections is going to be there for you every step of the way. Whether you need cameras, access control, any one of these things you see here, they're ready and available to assist. So I do want to talk about this. This is a great way to get your hands on the video analytics that Verkada has to offer. If you want to receive a live link to one of our cameras out in headquarters, you can play with the motion search, the people analytics. You can view historical footage just from your phone. Just got to send a text to the number listed there, 888-343-7537, and you'll receive that live link, and you can play with the cameras, touch and feel it kind of in your own time. So with that, kind of covered the gamut of Verkada, how easy and scalable we make physical security, and I'm going to pass it to Doug to talk about Cloud Connections and how they can help with your deployment.
Thanks, Matt. Great job. Yeah, Cloud Connections, we really try to take a holistic approach. We want to be a long-term partner, right? We recognize there's a lot of places to get hardware, to have somebody come install a solution, maybe for a one-off type of setting. But, our fundamental values that align so well with Verkada are, we really want to be a staple and a trusted supporter and ally for you and your team. So recognizing that everybody's got their own budget, everybody has their own needs. Some people have their own very specific hardware requirements. Really it is that customer-centric approach and our adaptability to help you guys really fulfill your needs with, in a lot of these cases, what we don't know, we don't quite know yet. And we are that trusted expert that can help you across, evaluating specific platforms, how to maybe move the needle in the best way possible for you and your firm, and really providing those end-to-end solutions that we can standardize on for you, your technology team, for your end users within your environment, as well as folks that may be coming in from the outside, needing to leverage, Zoom rooms, team rooms, whatever the case may be, on top of how it integrates with Verkada and the security requirements thereafter. So, as we take a look at those things, it really becomes a consultative approach. We want to get to know you guys better, not just for this first piloted program, if you will, but again, how we can help standardize and allow these things to roll out moving forward, making it easier on you and your team. We like to talk about the next process. This is really it's in the concept of, where do we begin with Cloud Connections? Everybody's kind of got a unique starting point based on what does the project demand of you today. Again, parlaying that with your budget, the physical room space, the actual needs of the environment, maybe compliance within your biggest partners and resources that you're looking to grow your business with. This is where we can really help. The next process is kind of a full suite of offerings that, 5 stages. You can, if you will, in a merry-go-round, get on wherever you need to start this thing with us, and we can help fulfill those needs as we get to learn your environment, your needs further, and where we can best fulfill, recommendations, integrations, and how to help you guys move the needle going forward. So for a lot of our partners, go ahead, Matt. It really begins with that planning phase. This is one where whether it's a product demo of Verkada that we'll kind of get to here at the end is a great starting point for a lot of our partners. They don't know what they don't yet know. So how we can get with you and your team, whether it's just through a series of photos or we jump on a live, FaceTime, Zoom link, whatever the case is, and you kind of walk us through the physical needs of your environment and that room or that office or the new white box facility that you guys are assuming here. There's a lot of different ways that we can help, from not even just the structured cabling and the help from laying the foundation at the beginning to integrating the hardware needs that align best for you and your organization. But the planning phase is very much a detailed analysis. It can be something remotely done. It can be just through those pictures, as I mentioned, or we can have a site walk with one of our team members coming on site, to walk through with you and your team to get a better lay of the layout physically and make sure we are aligned with your needs. So when we look into, really what is the starting point, oftentimes it does start with some aspect of the planning phase, but as we roll into the design phase, this is where it turns into, do we have a blueprint? Is there an architect involved? Do we need to become that partner for you that can help, in some cases, level set with what the architects want to do versus what we may really want to focus on, and how the hardware and the environment can support your needs. Really can be a great resource for a lot of our partners where, wow, we didn't realize you guys can do that too. And, you can help with the design. Absolutely. There's elements to that where it doesn't have to just be, it has to be this way, and this is the only way forward. How can we reutilize some existing hardware? How can we make the right recommendations for you? Again, budget drives a lot of this dialogue. Folks that are needing to use that grant money, how do we make sure that we utilize that for you guys so you don't lose it in the future, and help stay on track with your needs fundamentally, our sweet spot as a partner, and long-term, how we can help you, lay the foundation here from the beginning, as well as align that for future use as we roll out and standardize across your environment. Our integration aspect, this is where we become even more dynamic. So we have integrators that will come on site for the majority of our rollouts that, this may be the same partner that walks out on the site visit. It may just be our full-time integrators that are implementing, securing, completing the hardware setup, helping with the on-site training. We give a lot of ongoing support there that supports our partners and our team members when obviously new technology can be overwhelming. So we want to make sure that it's comfortable for not only our IT and AV partners on the inside that are kind of helping facilitate this, but for the end users themselves. So there's a lot of different ways that our team members can come on site. One of my favorite things about our integrators is they end up leaving every facility looking better than it was to begin with. So the level of service really is top notch when it comes to our integration efforts and perceived value within our partnerships, and the ongoing support that's obviously expected with hardware is something that should not be overlooked. So making sure you and your team are feeling confident, feeling like we know how to leverage this best, as you gain familiarity with products and the new integrated offerings that are now part of the staple for you and your group. People become more aware of oh, what's behind this door? How do we leverage this? Can you help me integrate this with my calendar and make this a little bit more succinct? Yes, we want to be there for you guys. Along with the integration piece, kind of falls into the management aspect. We're like those quarterly meetings where it really is an ongoing effort with you to make sure that one, things are aligned. Two, if this was a pilot program, great. How is it working for you guys? What kind of feedback do you have? And if you are ready, then, or the budget says now we're ready to push onto these next 5 rooms to do the same. How do we help and grow that and scale that up in a way where it's not overwhelming? There's a lot of ambiguity and, luckily with Verkada, we don't hear the same pushback and kind of same frustrations that can happen with some of the old legacy hardware that can be cumbersome and kludgy. As Matt touched on, the feature-rich aspects that Verkada has put in, from recovering video data, streamlining those efforts, being able to pull up live time events. You can, even start associating different visuals with people, and it has facial recognition software. Really can be very paramount for a lot of the larger organizations that we can work with and help support. And even those that are still growing in size, some of these pieces really just end up driving home the value in a different way. And for us, that's where, the management aspect really becomes a very much a meaningful part of our relationship. Some of the other additional offerings that we have can be with our digital signage. And, now that maybe there's some more displays in-house, how do we help, flip the script from, is it just consumer facing and what the clients need to know when they're walking into your facility, versus now it's after hours and we have some more internal messaging and or HR updates that go out, helping with, how to think outside the box and make sure that that communication is really something that aligns best for you, your goals, your clients, and your employees. The management aspect is definitely something that we're going to start leaning more on with, these continued dialogues with our partners and growing our power partners, if you will, as that type of partnership goes a long way when we look to help you solve for not just the short term, not just that upcoming big pressing project that you and leadership are really focused on, but long term, how do we map that out and really kind of, as much as we can, iron out these details ahead of time. That way we can be future forward with not only our solutions, but you and your technology stack and your suite of understanding how to best incorporate Verkada moving forward, and where Cloud Connections can offer that ongoing support as a trusted advisor. The refresh stage, this oftentimes leads into, what do we need to do, guys? We've got 3 years we've been running with this. It's been 5 years since we've updated this system. We can't afford for this one to fail on us. We've got budget for it now. I don't need to rip and replace everything, or do I, guys? And that's where, our goal at Cloud Connections is not just to sell you on hardware. It's really, how do we make sure this aligns best? Some of that budget has to be spent. Some of that budget can obviously be repurposed when we're tactful with it, and our ways to being sure that we can help support your goals. And, as we look towards, again, that long-term partnership, just being future-proofed, and reliability is one of the big aspects that, as our IT partners on the other side of the fence with our partners, really becomes something that, how do we make sure that we are in a good spot here today and moving forward? There's a lot of peace of mind that can go along with that. So whether we're calling that meetings, whether you guys are reaching out to us, we've got 24/7 support for some of our clients and that are needing those additional elements and layers of help in there. Obviously there's never a good time for a technology snafu. So we are the backbone for you guys when it comes down to how do we do this and what do we look forward to next. As you see, we've got a swath of clients that, range from the healthcare world to fast casual and the technology partnerships that we have. the interesting part as we look at who are our best clients, they really are the ones that want that long-term partner. There's plenty of transactional people and organizations to get things from or an idea from. We are offering a comprehensive suite of solutions with, our integration team. They are full W-2 employees of ours, never contracted out. So we are able to stand behind our deliverables in a different way from some of the other competitors out there. As we really lean into some of our larger partners and get to know them and their unique environments better, we've really found that this is where we have been able to make the most impact and help support each other in a productive way where it truly is a partnership. And one of the very, very cool offerings that Verkada does offer is a free trial. This is something that can be as simple as even just a single camera, guys. It doesn't have to be rip and replace everything. It doesn't have to be the entire, industrial warehouse that we're removing and swapping. Once you see what the Verkada platform does, often it turns into, oh boy, how do we get our hands on more of this? But at the same time, it's about the comfortability and it's about the availability to being able to kind of dip the toe, see what's behind the curtain, see what else is out there for your firm and how to make a bigger impact. I really like that analogy earlier, Matt, with kind of the digital Ring doorbell aspect with intercom. There are a lot of feature-rich availabilities now that tie fully back into the Verkada suite that make it pretty simple to start going, oh yeah, I can see the value behind that. So we'd love to get together with you guys on something like this if that's of interest. If you are evaluating your security platform today, how we can help support you on that, get some new hardware in your hands, and you'll find that the quality is really second to none with what Verkada has been able to do in the past and the way they're continuing to move the needle with the product suite that they're continuing to roll out year after year. So as we touched on, happy to get together with any and available, any folks that are willing for a product demo. Cloud Connections can really kind of facilitate this piece. Once Matt's ready to kind of get back involved after we have a great understanding of your environment and your unique capabilities and requests, we'll pull in our partners from Verkada to help make sure everything's aligned and functionality is available for all of those parties involved, and happy to support you guys with kind of a little walk and talk and show off some of the very, very cool feature-rich capabilities that Verkada offers today. And, really wanted to thank everybody for their time today. This was, again, part one of our three-part kickoff series here. We're going to have, these running 3 weeks apart, if you will. So our upcoming efforts, we will dive in a little bit more into some of the more feature-rich capabilities. We may be able to tout on a few of the client implementation stories as well. So please keep an eye out on your email, on LinkedIn, where we can start sharing some more here with you guys, as well as what Verkada is going to be continuing to carve out as a trailblazer in this space. And if there were any questions at this time in the Q&A, Matt, I don't know if any came across your side, please feel free to dump those into the chat, guys, and we'll be happy to address those with you guys.
Cool. Got 2 questions. Does Verkada Alarm integrate back to cameras and intercoms? Who monitors Verkada Alarm? So it's a great question. Yes. So every single product line kind of ties back to alarms, and that's kind of the beauty of it, right? A lot of our customers will just have cameras, and technically an intercom's a camera as well. And they may be looking for some additional security, additional, video monitoring after hours. We have, UL listed 5 diamond certified monitoring agents that can get notified if there's a loitering trigger, if there's a person detection trigger on any of your cameras. And they can review it to make sure that this actual person contact the people on the contact list and even dispatch emergency services if that's what is configured. So very flexible, depending on your needs. We can configure your alarm site in a way that makes sense. How often does Verkada update their system? So we're constantly rolling out firmware updates. This is the great part about being a Verkada customer. Every product has a license associated, but you get not you don't get a tiered program where you have a analytics number one, you have license plate recognition on top of that. You get the full suite of everything we offer over the air. So before, for example, customers did not have AI search, which is the ability to do natural language search across your cameras to find relevant footage. Customers just woke up one morning and that was a new update. We're constantly pushing out new updates. We have quarterly new features all the time. If we notice any small improvements that we make, we'll push that over the air for firmware updates. How are clients updated that updates are available? We have a Verkada product updates page on the website. When you navigate into Verkada Command as well, we'll have pop-ups saying, hey, this is a new feature. They'll kind of give you a walkthrough of what it is and how to utilize it. So those are the two main ways, either through the Verkada product updates page or through Command itself. It happens so often. I subscribe for notifications for product updates personally. And you'll get great blog posts that pop up. Who walks our site to determine best locations for cameras? Yeah, so Cloud Connections and Verkada, we'll partner together to work with you, and we'll help you map out a floor plan. We have a lot of experience working with different industries, different verticals, and we can help you map out what you're looking for. It's not just location. It's like if you have specific use cases that you need to determine, whether it's getting people of interest notifications, determining relevant license plates in parking lots, specific issues you may be encountering in your facilities, we can recommend not only the count of the cameras, the quantity of cameras, but also the model as well, to make sure you have the desired functionality. How secured is cloud storage of camera footage? That's a great question. So at rest, we use AES 128.8 on the camera, as well as in transit to the cloud and to your viewing device. Remember, all the footage is stored directly on the camera by default. If you decide to back it up to the cloud as a second copy, that's stored in AWS at AES 256. Great questions. Yeah, so moving from more traditional physical security or cloud-based, how difficult is it? It's a great question. So again, a lot of the industry now is kind of on premises, and most of IT is moving to the cloud, and physical security is catching up. We make it incredibly easy. A lot of the infrastructure and cabling, all the networking is pretty much in place for the on-premises kind of deployment. And when you're looking to migrate to the cloud, it depends on your scenario, right? If it's budget driven, if it's location by location, there's an incident and we can roll out by location. You can swap your existing devices with Verkada device very easily. It uses the same Cat5, Cat6 cable. It just needs PoE, power over Ethernet, and you can get it up and running in mere minutes. If it's a budget driven decision, and you have an existing relatively new camera fleet, we can pull in those streams through a command connector. It's basically a server, and it's a bridge to get to Verkada Command, with the thought that as those cameras slowly start to phase out, you can easily replace them with a Verkada camera. It has leading analytics. It has that 10-year warranty built into the camera as well. Automatic firmware updates. So it's very easy, and kind of we'll work with you on your unique scenario to make sure we have the right migration plan into Verkada Command. Warranty on the Verkada camera. So all of our cameras are warranted at 10 years. And the only camera that does not have that is our PTZ camera. It's a lot of moving parts, but we have an industry-leading warranty on those cameras. So if you have a camera at year 9 that there's a hardware issue, manufacturing defect, and we don't make that camera anymore, we'll replace it like for like with the latest model. This is a question for Doug. Where do you provide on-site installation or integration services?
Oh, great question. Yeah, so we are headquartered out of Denver, Colorado. Majority of our team and staff are on site in Denver. So obviously locally that makes that simple to get to. Majority of our clients, kind of in that Rocky Mountain region. Great news is though, we've been working up in Canada consistently. We've been over into Europe, over into APAC. So if there's a PO from a polar bear in Antarctica that needs some help, we will find a way to get out there and help you guys. So really not geo-specific. It's really based on our clients, their needs, and how we can best support you guys. Thank you for that.
Cool. Last question. What if I have other cameras in use today and I want to integrate Verkada cameras? Is that possible? Does Verkada offer a buyout program if we only want Verkada cameras? So the first question, yes. So we have a command connector. That's the kind of bridge to Verkada command. So long as your existing cameras communicate with OnVIF Profile S, it's just the protocol that the cameras talk to the existing NVRs with. As long as they're at Profile S, we can ingest those streams and kind of pipe them into Verkada command. And then do we offer a buyout program? So, this is kind of like opportunity specific and we'll work with you. So yes, we do have it and, we'll want to work with you to make sure we have the right deployment. But yeah, looks like that's all the questions. If there's any that kind of come up, feel free to ask live or in the Q&A chat. We do have a few minutes here, but we really appreciate everything. Okay, one more that came in. Another one for Doug. Can you help me with assessing my physical security?
Yeah, great question. Absolutely. As Matt pointed out, that's something that can be co-leveraged between Verkada and or Cloud Connections. In most cases, we will go ahead and send somebody out on site if at all possible. There's a lot of things that we can uncover when we are on prem physically. Our eyes and ears catch some of the things that maybe the AV or IT team possibly could have overlooked, but from cabling and just from an integration perspective, our best practices and how to is something that we'd love to get out there on site if at all possible. It usually makes a world of difference when we're examining, what are the best solutions for you and your team. Otherwise, like I said, if that's just not fiscally available or time doesn't allow for that, starting off with pictures, photos, blueprints, design, that does a lot of the walking and talking for us. So, really not a wrong way to do it, but in a perfect world, if we can come on site and get to know you guys and walk the space with you, we found that has been of the most value when looking at how to best fulfill the needs of our clients for not only that project, but moving forward and kind of standardizing.
All right. If I'm not in Colorado and want to save money, can we evaluate the current state via Zoom? So yeah, Cloud Connections and Verkada can partner together to kind of discuss your existing deployment. We can kind of get a great idea of what you're working with, what you're looking for, any pain points you're experiencing, and value we can provide. If you have like an existing floor plan, whether you have cameras laid out on it or not, we can kind of take that and work with you to kind of map things out. It's always great to get on site to get a better perspective. But yes, we can absolutely get started kind of virtually to kind of get an overview of what you need.
Matt, you've been great on these questions, man. They're just rolling right in here. We'll give it just another minute here. Just to go ahead and recap, ladies, gentlemen, our series 2 or episode 2, if you will, of the mini series we're going to have on 3 weeks from today, Thursday, February 20th. It'll also be at the 10 a.m. Mountain Time slot. And that's going to be highlighting some of the centralized security at your fingertips and more of a deep dive into the command platform. So love to see you guys be able to make it back for that. That is a very feature-rich element to the Verkada platform that is very powerful. The first couple times I've been able to see that, it just keeps adding to the layers and my understanding of how it all integrates together. So please get registered for that, as well as Thursday, March 13th. Again, 3 weeks thereafter. where we'll be touching on the smart solutions in action and how to implement Verkada's camera solutions with cloud connections. So, really, guys, this has been very valuable for us. Thank you, Matt, so much for your time and being on top of everything here for us today. I think that was a great first session.
Cool. Happy to help. Look forward to revisiting in a couple weeks.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you guys. I don't know that we see any more Q&As rolling in here. Thanks so much for the interactive nature on this first run through, guys. Thanks so much for supporting Cloud Connections and Verkada, and we will look forward to seeing you guys next time around. Have a great rest of your week.
At Cloud Connections, we help businesses and organizations align where they are today with where they want to be in the future. Our team of physical security professionals can help you assess, design, integrate, and support your security solution, ensuring you are fully protected. Contact us today, and let's work together for a more secure tomorrow.